SANDMAN Volume 5, A Game of You, collecting issues 32 to 37, and if you notice there's 3 missing issues between this volume and the previous one, but I think those are all self-contained stories and later collected in another volume. A Game of You. I have to say I really enjoyed this volume, at least as much as I did enjoy Season of Mists, if not more. Maybe I should say this is my favorite volume so far, and it's kind of surprising. I kept complaining about how I felt the series should revolve more around Morpheus, and in this volume, Morpheus only appears in half a dozen pages. It all spins around Barbie, and we've met Barbie in the doll's house. She was married to Ken, and they are divorced, and Barbie moved to an apartment building in New York City, and we meet her neighbors and friends. And later on in the story, we also meet her friends from the land. The land is Barbie's personal little place in the realm of dreams. And it's now controlled by the malevolent Cuckoo. But Barbie has all these talking animal friends there, Martin Tenbones and Wilkinson, and a couple other talking animals. And Neil Gaiman, I think, is really good at evaluating his own writing from a reader's point of view, and is very good at giving the audience what the audience is looking for at some point. That happened in the previous volume, in the Season of Mists. Clearly the series needed a story arc focusing more on Morpheus and the Endless. And another thing the series was missing up until now was a very emotional story arc. And indeed, A Game of You is an emotional roller coaster. And that's, I'm pretty sure, Gaiman's main objective in this volume, to create emotion, and he achieves that by essentially creating very likable characters, with whom the reader will surely empathize. And that was something missing before, very empathic characters, because Morpheus is not that much likable. He is very cold and distant, and even Sophie from the doll's house is not very prone to create that kind of connection with the reader. But that's what Gaiman does in this volume, and he uses some cheap tricks, especially by using the talking animals, because it is considerably easier to create a non-human likable character than a human character, because we humans, by definition or by nature, are anything but imperfect. And those elements that make you really care about a character, and it can be loyalty, kindness, all those positive attributes, all those virtues, are much easier to credibly be exist in a non-human character. But there's also a very likable human character in this story, and that's Wanda, the the transgender female who is a very close friend to Barbie. And all these likable characters, Wanda and the animals, they all die throughout the story. So that's the way, or the main way, Gaiman creates a knot in the reader's throat, if you know what I mean. Apparently, this is much less deeper in terms of writing than the previous volumes, but taking a closer look at it, and especially when it concerns the issues Barbie and their human friends or neighbors are going through, it adds a considerable amount of emotional depth to the story too. So it's just not the exploitation of this kind of amalgam of juvenile, old, very famous stories like The Wizard of Oz, or Alice in Wonderland, Narnia, or even Lord of the Rings. All those old famous tales cast a shadow in this book. You can see elements from all of those, but it is considerably more than that. And then there's the art, which is also my favorite from the series so far. The main responsible is Sean McManus. He pencils almost the entirety of this volume, and he does it very, very well. But there's one issue with pencils by Colin Doran, which looks very, very poor. I'm not sure if that's all Doran's responsibility or if the inker has something to do with it. And I've noticed when George Pratt is responsible for the inking, the final results are usually not very good. But either way, Sean McManus' art just makes this a very beautiful volume. And there's also a small contribution by Brian Talbot, and it also looks good. So, all in all, I found this an extremely enjoyable volume, and I'm really happy now that I'm going through this Sandman journey, and more than ever, I'm very much looking forward to what comes next. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.